Good morning. I want to talk to you today about something that weighs heavy on so many hearts, the future. It's easy to get caught up in the what ifs and the unknowns. We worry about our careers, our families, our health, and our finances. But I'm here to tell you, don't worry about the future. Why? Because the future is not in your hands. It's in the hands of a loving, all-knowing, all-powerful God who has already gone ahead of you and prepared the way. You see, worrying doesn't add a single day to your life. In fact, it steals the joy of today. When you're constantly stressed about tomorrow, you miss the beauty of this moment. The truth is, you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to know how everything is going to work out. All you need to know is that God is in control and He's working all things together for your good. So, let me remind you of this. Your future is bright. Your best days are still ahead. You may not see it yet, but there's favor in your future. There's breakthrough in your future. There's healing, restoration, and abundance in your future. Don't let worry rob you of the peace and joy that's available to you right now. Trust that the one who holds your future is faithful, and He's already working behind the scenes on your behalf. Let's choose to live with faith, not fear. Let's choose to trust, not worry. Because when we release our worries and place our future in God's hands, we open the door for Him to do immeasurably more than we could ever ask, think, or imagine. The future is not yours to carry. So often we feel the weight of tomorrow pressing down on us. What will happen with our jobs, our relationships, our health, or our finances? We try to plan, to control, to figure it all out, as if the burden of the future rests solely on our shoulders. But here's the truth. You were never meant to carry that weight. The future is not your responsibility to manage alone. It's too big, too uncertain, and too far beyond your control. Trying to carry it will only leave you exhausted, anxious, and overwhelmed. Think about it. When you worry about the future, does it change anything? Does it make the path clearer or the outcome better? No, worry doesn't add a single hour to your life or solve a single problem. All it does is drain your energy and steal your peace. That's because worry is rooted in fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of not having enough. But fear is not from God. Fear is a liar, whispering doubts and what ifs into your mind, trying to convince you that you're not capable, that you're not going to make it, that the future is something to dread. But here's the good news. You don't have to carry the future because God has already taken care of it. He knows every detail of your life, every challenge, every opportunity, every twist and turn. He's already gone ahead of you, preparing the way, making crooked paths straight and opening doors that no one can shut. He's not surprised by anything you're facing, and He's already working things out for your good. Your job is not to figure it all out. Your job is to trust Him, to release the burden of the future into His hands and walk in faith, knowing that He's got you. When you let go of the need to control the future, you'll find a newfound sense of freedom. You'll realize that you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know how everything is going to work out. All you need to know is that God is with you and He's guiding your steps. He's promised to never leave you nor forsake you. And His plans for you are good. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. So take a deep breath and let go of the weight you've been carrying. The future is not yours to carry. It's God's. And He's more than capable of handling it. Trust Him, lean on Him, and watch as He leads you into a future that's brighter than anything you could ever imagine. Worry steals today's joy. It's like a thief that sneaks into your mind, quietly robbing you of the peace and happiness that are meant to be yours in this very moment. When you're consumed with worry about tomorrow, you miss the beauty of today. You're so focused on what might happen, what could go wrong, what you might lose, or what you don't yet have, that you fail to see the blessings right in front of you. The laughter of a loved one, the warmth of the sun on your face, the simple pleasures of life. All of it gets overshadowed by the weight of worry. Think about it. Worry doesn't just affect your mind. It affects your entire being. It drains your energy, clouds your perspective, and even impacts your health. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of fear and anxiety, preventing you from fully experiencing the joy and abundance that today has to offer. And here's the thing. Worrying about tomorrow doesn't change tomorrow. It only ruins today. It takes you out of the present moment and traps you in a future that hasn't even happened yet. But you don't have to live that way. You have a choice. You can choose to let go of worry and embrace the joy that's available to you right now. Joy isn't something that's dependent on your circumstances. It's a mindset, a decision to focus on the good, to be grateful for what you have, and to trust that God is in control. When you shift your focus from worry to gratitude, you'll find that joy begins to fill your heart. You'll start to notice the little things, the kindness of a stranger, the beauty of nature, the love of family and friends. And you'll realize that today is a gift, not something to be wasted on worry. The truth is, today is all you have. Yesterday is gone and tomorrow isn't promised. All you're guaranteed is this moment. So why let worry steal it from you? Choose to live in the present. Choose to find joy in the here and now. When you do, you'll discover a sense of peace and contentment that no amount of worry can take away. Don't let worry rob you of the joy that's meant to be yours today. Embrace this moment and let joy fill your heart. You don't need to have it all figured out. So often we put immense pressure on ourselves to know every step of the journey, to have a perfect plan, and to be in control of every detail. We think that if we can just map everything out, if we can just see the whole picture, then we'll feel secure and at peace. But life doesn't work that way. Life is unpredictable, full of twists and turns that we can't always anticipate. And the truth is, you weren't meant to have it all figured out. That's not your job. Your job is simply to take the next step, to trust, and to keep moving forward in faith. Think about it. When you're driving at night, your headlights only show you a little bit of the road ahead. You can't see the entire journey, but you don't need to. All you need to see is the next stretch of road. And as you keep moving, the path continues to unfold. That's how life works. You don't need to see the whole picture right now. You just need to take the next step, trusting that the rest will become clear in time. Trying to figure everything out on your own only leads to stress and frustration. It's like trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces. You'll wear yourself out trying to make sense of something that's not meant to be understood all at once. But here's the good news. You don't have to figure it out because God already has. He knows the end from the beginning. He knows every detail of your life, every challenge you'll face, and every victory that's waiting for you. And He's promised to guide you step by step as you trust in Him. When you release the need to have it all figured out, you'll find a sense of freedom and peace. You'll realize that it's okay not to have all the answers. It's okay to not know how everything is going to work out. What's important is that you trust the one who does know. Trust that He's leading you, that He's working behind the scenes, and that He's got a plan for your life that's far greater than anything you could ever imagine. So take the pressure off yourself. You don't need to have it all figured out. All you need to do is take the next step. Trust God with the rest and believe that He's guiding you toward a future that's brighter than you can even dream. Let go of the need to control every detail and watch as He unfolds His perfect plan for your life one step at a time. God is already ahead of you. That's a truth you can hold on to no matter what you're facing. It's easy to feel like you're walking into the unknown, like you're stepping into a future that's uncertain and full of questions. But here's the beautiful reality. God has already gone before you. He's already in your future, working things out, making a way, and preparing everything you need for the journey ahead. You're not walking into the unknown. You're walking into a future that God has already seen, already planned for, and already equipped you to handle. Think about it. When you're facing a challenge or a big decision, it can feel overwhelming. You might wonder, how is this going to work out? What if I make the wrong choice? What if I'm not ready? But those thoughts are rooted in fear, not faith. The truth is, God knows every step of your journey before you even take it. He knows every obstacle you'll face, every door that will open, and every victory that's waiting for you. And He's already there in your future, making sure that everything aligns for your good. This is why you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to stress about what's coming next. You don't have to try to figure it all out on your own. God is already ahead of you, clearing the path, removing obstacles, and setting up divine appointments. He's already placed the right people in your life, already prepared the resources you'll need, and already lined up the opportunities that will take you to the next level. All you have to do is trust Him and keep moving forward. When you truly grasp this truth, It changes the way you approach life. You don't have to live in anxiety about what's next because you know that God is already there. You don't have to fear the unknown because you know that God knows. You can walk in confidence, not because of your own abilities, but because of His faithfulness. You can rest in the assurance that He's already working behind the scenes, even when you can't see it. So, whatever you're facing today, remember this: God is already ahead of you. He's already in your future, preparing the way and making sure that everything works together for your good. Trust Him, follow Him, and know that as you take each step, you're walking into a future that He has already prepared for you. A future filled with hope, purpose, and blessing. Worry doesn't change anything. Let that sink in for a moment. No matter how much time you spend turning things over in your mind, no matter how many sleepless nights you have, no matter how many what-if scenarios you play out, worry doesn't change a single thing. It doesn't solve problems, it doesn't open doors, and it doesn't make the future any clearer. In fact, worry only makes things worse. It drains your energy, clouds your thinking, and robs you of the peace and joy that are meant to be yours. Think about it. When was the last time worrying actually helped you? Did it pay a bill? Did it heal a relationship? Did it worry your behavior? Did it pay a bill? Did it heal a relationship? Did it make an opportunity appear out of thin air? No. Worry is like sitting in a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere. It's a cycle of fear and anxiety that keeps you stuck, spinning your wheels but never making progress. And the worst part is, most of the things we worry about never even happen. We waste so much time and energy on imagined problems that never come to pass. But here's the good news. You don't have to live that way. You don't have to let worry control your life. You have a choice. You can choose to let go of worry and trust that God is in control. You can choose to focus on what you can do today instead of stressing about what might happen tomorrow. You can choose to replace worry with faith, knowing that God is bigger than any problem you're facing and that He's working all things together for your good. When you stop worrying and start trusting, you'll find a sense of peace that surpasses all understanding. You'll realize that you don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to figure everything out on your own. All you have to do is trust God and take the next step. He's already gone ahead of you, and He's already working things out for your good. So the next time worry tries to creep in, remind yourself, worry doesn't change anything. It doesn't help, it doesn't solve, and it doesn't move you forward. Instead, choose faith. Choose peace. Choose to trust that God is in control and that He's got your future in His hands. When you do, you'll find that worry loses its grip and you'll step into a life of freedom, joy, and abundance. Your future is bright. That's not just a feel-good statement. It's a truth you can hold on to no matter what your current circumstances look like. It's easy to get discouraged when you're facing challenges, when things aren't going the way you planned, or when the road ahead seems uncertain. But here's what you need to remember. Your current situation is not your final destination. What you're going through right now is not the end of your story. God has a plan for your life, and His plans are always good. He's already lined up blessings, breakthroughs, and opportunities that you can't even imagine. Your future is not something to fear, it's something to look forward to. Think about it. God doesn't see you the way you see yourself. He doesn't see your limitations, your mistakes, or your failures. He sees your potential. He sees the person He created you to be, full of purpose, strength, and destiny. He sees the future He has prepared for you, and it's brighter than anything you could ever dream up on your own. No matter how dark things may seem right now, no matter how many obstacles are in your way, God's light is shining on your path, leading you to a future filled with hope and promise. This doesn't mean that the journey will always be easy. There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments when you feel like giving up. But even in those moments, you can hold on to this truth. Your future is bright. God is with you every step of the way, and He's using every experience, every high and every low, to prepare you for the amazing things He has in store. The struggles you're facing today are shaping you, strengthening you, and equipping you for the victories that are coming tomorrow. So don't let fear or doubt cloud your vision, but don't let temporary setbacks make you forget about the eternal promises of God. Your future is not determined by your past, your mistakes, or your current circumstances. Your future is determined by God's promises, and His promises are yes and amen. He's promised to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you hope and a future. He's promised to work all things together for your good. He's promised to never leave you nor forsake you. And God always keeps His promises. When you truly believe that your future is bright, it changes the way you live. It gives you hope when things feel hopeless. It gives you strength when you feel weak. It gives you courage to keep going, even when the road is tough. So hold your head high and walk in confidence, knowing that your best days are still ahead. Your future is bright because it's in the hands of a loving, faithful God who has already gone ahead of you and prepared the way. Trust Him, follow Him, and watch as He leads you into a future that's beyond anything you could ever ask, think, or imagine. Favor is in your future. That's not just a hopeful thought. It's a promise you can stand on. God's favor is not something you have to earn or work for. It's a gift He freely gives to those who trust in Him. And here's the beautiful thing about favor. It's not limited by your circumstances, your past, or your mistakes. Favor is God's way of opening doors that no one can shut, of making a way where there seems to be no way, and of blessing you in ways that go beyond your own efforts. No matter what you're facing right now, no matter how impossible things may seem, favor is in your future. Think about it. Favor is what causes you to be in the right place at the right time. It's what causes opportunities to come your way that you didn't see coming. It's what causes people to want to help you, to bless you, and to go out of their way for you. Favor is what turns setbacks into comebacks, what turns trials into triumphs, and what turns ordinary moments into extraordinary breakthroughs. And the best part, favor isn't just a one-time thing. It's a constant in your life when you walk with God. His favor surrounds you like a shield, and it goes before you, paving the way for blessings and opportunities that you couldn't create on your own. You might be thinking, but how can I be sure that favor is in my future? Here's how. Because God's Word says so. The Bible tells us that God's favor lasts a lifetime. It tells us that His favor is like a shield, protecting us and positioning us for success. It tells us that when we seek Him first, all these things, His favor, His blessings, His provision, will be added unto us. Favor isn't something you have to chase. It's something that chases you when you walk in alignment with God's will. So how do you position yourself for this favor? By staying faithful, by trusting God's timing, and by keeping your heart open to His leading. You don't have to manipulate or strive to make things happen. You don't have to worry about missing out or falling behind. When you trust God and keep your focus on Him, His favor will find you. It will show up in ways you never expected, through a phone call, a chance encounter, or an unexpected opportunity. It will show up in the form of people who want to help you, doors that open effortlessly, and blessings that overflow. Remember, favor is not just about getting what you want, it's about receiving what God has already prepared for you. It's about walking into the destiny He has planned for you, a destiny filled with purpose, abundance, and joy. So don't be discouraged by what you see right now. Don't let temporary setbacks make you doubt God's promises. Favor is in your future. It's already on its way. Keep believing, keep trusting, and keep expecting. Because when God's favor shows up, it changes everything. It turns the impossible into possible, the ordinary into extraordinary, and the hopeless into hopeful. Your future is filled with favor, and it's going to be greater than anything you could ever imagine. Trust in God's timing. This is one of the most important lessons we can learn in life, yet it's often one of the hardest to put into practice. We live in a fast-paced world where everything is about instant results, instant communication, instant answers, instant success. But God doesn't work on our timetable. His ways are higher than our ways, and His timing is perfect even when it doesn't feel like it. When we try to rush things or force outcomes, we often end up frustrated and disappointed. But when we trust in God's timing, we find peace, knowing that He is always working behind the scenes, even when we can't see it. Think about it. Some of the greatest blessings in life take time. A seed doesn't become a tree overnight. A masterpiece isn't painted in a day. And the plans God has for your life, plans to prosper you and give you hope in the future, are no different. They unfold in His perfect timing, not ours. What feels like a delay to us is often divine preparation. God is using the waiting period to build your character, to strengthen your faith, and to prepare you for what's coming next. He's making sure that when the time is right, you're ready to step into the blessings He has for you. It's easy to get impatient, especially when you're facing challenges or when it seems like everyone around you is moving forward while you're standing still. But here's the truth. God's timing is never late and it's never early. It's always right on time. When you trust in His timing, you can rest assured that He will bring everything together at the perfect moment. The job you've been praying for, the relationship you've been hoping for, the breakthrough you've been waiting for, it's all coming, and it's coming at just the right time. Trusting in God's timing requires faith. It means letting go of your need to control and surrendering your plans to Him. It means believing that even when you don't understand what's happening, God does. It means holding on to the promise that He makes all things beautiful in His time. When you trust in His timing, you'll find that the waiting period becomes a season of growth, not frustration. You'll learn to appreciate the journey, not just the destination. And you'll discover that God's timing is always worth the wait. So if you're in a season of waiting today, don't lose heart. Don't give up. Trust that God is working even when you can't see it. Trust that He knows what's best for you, and He's orchestrating every detail of your life for your good. His timing is perfect, and His plans for you are perfect. When you trust in His timing, you'll see that He is faithful, and He will bring everything to pass in ways that are far greater than anything you could ever imagine. Keep believing, keep trusting, and watch as He unfolds His perfect plan for your life. Right on time. Live with faith, not fear. This is a choice we all have to make every single day. Fear is everywhere. It's in the news, in our relationships, in our thoughts. It tries to convince us that we're not enough, that we're not going to make it, that the future is something to dread. But faith tells a different story. Faith reminds us that we serve a God who is bigger than any problem, stronger than any obstacle, and greater than any fear. Faith doesn't ignore the challenges. It simply chooses to believe that God is in control, even when things feel out of control. Fear paralyzes us. It keeps us stuck in the same place, afraid to take risks, afraid to step out, afraid to dream big. But faith propels us forward. It gives us the courage to take the next step, even when we can't see the whole picture. Faith says, I don't know how this is going to work out, but I know God does. Faith says, I'm not sure what the future holds, but I know who holds the future. When you live with faith, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're walking in confidence, knowing that God is with you every step of the way. The truth is, fear and faith cannot coexist. You can't live in both at the same time. Fear says, what if it doesn't work out? Faith says, what if it does? Fear says, I'm not ready. Faith says, God will equip me. Faith says, I'm alone in this. Faith says, God is with me. Every day you have a choice. Will you let fear dictate your life, or will you let faith lead the way? Choosing faith doesn't mean that life will always be easy. It doesn't mean that you won't face challenges or setbacks. But it does mean that you'll have peace in the midst of the storm. It means that you'll have hope when things feel hopeless. It means that you'll have the strength to keep going even when the road is tough. Faith is the anchor that keeps you steady no matter what life throws your way. So, how do you live with faith, not fear? It starts by filling your mind with God's promises. When fear tries to creep in, remind yourself of what God has said. He's promised to never leave you nor forsake you. He's promised to work all things together for your good. He's promised to give you a future filled with hope. When you focus on His promises, fear loses its power. You'll begin to see that no matter what you're facing, God is greater. No matter how big the problem seems, God is bigger. Living with faith also means taking action. Faith isn't just about believing, it's about doing. It's about stepping out even when it's uncomfortable. It's about trusting God enough to take the first step even when you can't see the whole staircase. When you take that step of faith, you'll see God move in ways you never imagined. You'll see doors open, breakthroughs happen, and miracles unfold. Today, I encourage you to choose faith over fear. Don't let fear hold you back from the amazing future God has for you. Don't let it keep you from dreaming big, taking risks, and stepping into your purpose. You were not created to live a life of fear. You were created to live a life of faith. A life filled with courage, hope, and confidence. So take a deep breath, let go of fear, and step forward in faith. When you do, you'll discover a life that's more abundant, more joyful, and more fulfilling than anything fear could ever offer. Live with faith, not fear, and watch as God does immeasurably more than you could ever ask, think, or imagine. Release your worries. It's easier said than done, isn't it? Worry has a way of clinging to us. wrapping itself around our thoughts and refusing to let go. It whispers doubts, magnifies problems, and makes mountains out of molehills. But here's the truth. Worry doesn't belong in your life. It doesn't add value, it doesn't solve problems, and it doesn't change outcomes. All it does is steal your peace, drain your energy, and keep you stuck in a cycle of fear and anxiety. You weren't meant to carry that weight. You were meant to live freely, joyfully, and confidently, trusting that God is in control. Releasing your worry starts with a decision to let go of what you can't control and trust the one who can. It's about recognizing that you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to figure everything out, and you don't have to carry the burden alone. God invites you to cast all your cares on Him because He cares for you. He's not distant or disconnected from your struggles. He's right there with you, ready to take the weight off your shoulders and fill you with His peace. Think about it. When you hold on to worry, what are you really holding on to? You're holding on to the illusion of control. You're trying to manage things that are beyond your ability to manage. But when you release your worries, you're acknowledging that God is bigger than your problems. You're saying, I trust you, Lord. I trust that you've got this. I trust that you're working all things together for my good. That's where true freedom begins, when you let go and let God. Releasing your worries doesn't mean ignoring your problems or pretending everything is fine. It means handing them over to God and trusting Him to handle them. It means shifting your focus from what's wrong to who's right. The God who loves you, who fights for you, and who has already gone ahead of you to prepare the way. When you release your worries, you make room for His peace to fill your heart. You make room for His joy to overflow in your life. And you make room for His solutions to unfold in ways you never expected. So how do you release your worries? Start by praying. Talk to God about what's on your heart. Be honest with Him about your fears, your doubts, and your struggles. Then leave those worries with Him. Don't pick them back up. When they try to creep back into your mind, remind yourself that you've already given them to God. Replace those worrisome thoughts with His promises. Meditate on His word, which tells you not to be anxious about anything, but to bring everything to Him in prayer. Surround yourself with reminders of His faithfulness through worship, through community, and through the testimonies of how He's come through for you in the past. When you release your worries, you'll find a sense of freedom and peace that surpasses all understanding. You'll discover that life is so much better when you're not carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. You'll see that God is faithful and He's more than capable of handling whatever you're facing. So take a deep breath, let go of the worry, and step into the abundant life that's waiting for you. Release your worries and watch as God does immeasurably more than you could ever ask, think, or imagine.